Welcome to the Twinkl Talks EYFS podcast. Working in the early years is busy, funny, messy and exhausting. Join me, Shána, and the rest of the Twinkl EYFS team as we talk honestly about our experiences as practitioners, teachers and professional nappy changers. Whether you're listening to increase your CPD hours or catching up on our antics whilst driving home from work, Twinkl EYFS will share everything you need to know about all things early years. Hello, wonderful listeners. It's Shána here from Twinkl Talks EYFS, and today we're going to be talking all about how we look after ourselves. Yes, we're going to be talking about that buzzword, well-being, but we've got a wonderful, happy teacher coach called Joan who's going to come and tell us all about it. But before we get there, let's have a look at our new segment that we've introduced called Twinkl Talks Top 3. Episode, we decided to talk about our top 3 crisp flavours. So we put a little poll out on our social media to find out what crisps early years practitioners really love. And the results were quite interesting. So 368 of you took part, thank you, and we've had loads of different flavours come up. The most interesting ones being pickled onion, maybe steak, sriracha sound yummy, but the weirdest one was broccoli. Now, I don't know if they're meaning like broccoli flavoured crisps or just they don't like crisps, they'd rather munch on a raw piece of broccoli. Who knows? But 7 of you actually said you'd like that, so who knows? I've never seen any broccoli crisps. If you voted for liking them, can you let me know where to get them? I'd like to try them, I think. But out of 368 votes, our top 3 crisp flavours for early years practitioners were, in third place, ready salted with 17% of the vote. In second place, cheese and onion with 28%. And in first place, and our top flavour is salt and vinegar with 32% of the vote. I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty surprised. I really like the meaty flavoured ones, like your beef, your steak, your bacon, but apparently I'm the only one. Prawn cocktail was close with 11% as well. And I'm really surprised Pringles sour cream is at the bottom with like 0.3%. What's going on here, guys? Thank you if you took part in our vote. It's always interesting to find out what we like to nibble on, and I look forward to our next Twinkl Talks Top 3. Great, thank you for that. Now I'm really hungry. But yeah, let me know about those broccoli crisps. That sounds interesting. I've heard of like parsnip crisps and beetroot crisps, but they're like the actual vegetables. I don't know, just let me know, I'm intrigued. So now we're going to get on to our main event of the episode. We're going to be talking to the wonderful Joan of the Happy Teacher Coach. And this topic is obviously not new to early years practitioner. Staff wellbeing is a real challenge for all of us. And I think it's important to see how we can help each other look after ourselves. So without further ado, let's listen to what Jess has to say. Jessica, thank you so much for coming on to our podcast and having a wonderful chat with me today about well-being. Joan is the founder, no less, of the Happy Teacher Coach. How
I am.
Yes, you are. You get it. Yes. So please tell us about yourself and all the work that you do.
So I am a primary school teacher part-time, currently working in year 1, but also on the side I am a Happy Teacher Coach. So I focus on teacher well-being and how to manage the delightful I'm trying to think of nice ways to put this, the delightful workload and other bits like that can be quite stressful and overwhelming in teaching after my own experience of burnout a few years ago now.
Would you be open to telling us about your experience?
Yeah. The whole reason why I wanted to do this was because I know I'm not the only person who has ever felt this way. And with everything that I have learned and through my my studies and my qualifications to become a coach, I've learned so much more about well-being and self-care and things like that. So my whole mission really, I suppose, was if I can do it, I want to help others to do it as well. After seeing so many of my other friends go through their own struggles and be signed off work and things like that. So it's about, well, to be fair, I've struggled with it the whole of my teaching career in about, how long have I been teaching now? Probably about 11 years. Gosh. And right from the beginning, like I remember that first term in teaching, burnt out, really poorly. I wasn't signed off then, but I completely burnt myself out. The thing is, I'm so passionate about teaching. I love what I do, so I just threw myself into it. But I've realised along the way that I have a bit of a perfectionistic trait, shall I say, and I like to please people. So those little characteristics of mine did lead me to experience burnout, and other things that were going on in school also contributed to it as well. But it was things like not being able to sleep, crying all the time, eating, not eating, migraines, all those things just led me to have a breakdown, essentially, to the point where I had to go into hospital, and I've now got a lifelong gut disease from it. But I am grateful for that experience, which I know sounds really odd, but it's meant I've completely changed my life. And so for that, I am really grateful, because I know at that point it had happened 3 times, this burnout, the feelings of burnout, should I say, happened 3 times. And on that third time, it was like almost like a wake-up call to be like, Jess, something's not right here. What's going on? Like, you've got to change something. It was almost like, a awakening moment to be like, I've got to change something here. This isn't working.
Wow. Well, thank you, first of all, for being so open with us and sharing that story, because obviously that's something that's really important, to be open and honest. But also, I'm really pretty sure that sadly, it's not a unique story.
Yeah, I know.
A lot of us, I mean, I can say for myself, I experienced burnout in my job as a teacher to the point where I actually couldn't do the job anymore, which is why I work for Twinkl, you know? So part of that is because I have an underlying autoimmune disease suspected. I'm still going in hospitals and doing the checks, right? Gut disease. There you go. Preach.
Yeah, feel you.
But that had such a massive impact on my health. But the job made it worse. It was the constant on the go. It was the job where you start at 7 a.m. to do work before you start work, because when you're at work, you can't actually do the work that you are employed to do the work for, because you're looking after kids, and then you actually get to do the work after work to catch up on the work that you should have done before the work was done. Right? I mean, there was some crazy times, right? They're long days. They're really hard. They're long days. And especially in early years and year 1, like yourself, they're very physical days. You know, our children do not sit still, which is a blessing and also a curse. And it was just unsustainable for me. And I got to a point where I was so poorly. I was in hospital all the time. I couldn't look after myself. And it was just, like you say, I had to get to that point of, right, I actually need to make a decision. And leaving was the best decision for me. But of course, we've still got wonderful practitioners, wonderful teachers that are still in the job. And we don't want to get them to that choice, you know. It's a shame that we had to make that choice and we've had to suffer those, but we want to help practitioners and teachers hopefully not get to that point. And I just instantly thought of you as the best person to do this, because obviously listeners won't know this yet, but I know Jess because we've met when I was a teacher anyway. I've got my really good friend Tara, who's a teacher and a coach, and she introduced me to you on all the Facebook lives and all the advice that you give out. And it was really nice just to be like, oh, okay, this isn't just me. I'm not coping with the job. This is a reality that we all face in such a challenging but yet rewarding job. So I wanted to ask you, obviously you've been coaching teachers and practitioners, and obviously from your own experience, what kind of things do early years practitioners struggle with in particular in terms of well-being and the job?
Like you were just saying, our lovely littles that we teach, like you said, they're so active. And part of that job is constantly keeping the energy up, keeping them entertained. Let's go, 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 smiley face. You know, I always say I'm a performing monkey because you're just like,
literally, that's just what came into
all
my head.
day.
Yeah. With Disney princesses, superheroes.
Yeah. So it's having the energy. And when you're not feeling it, it's like long days, long hours, workload. Then someone will say something to you and it will be like, just like a kick in the gut, being like, oh, okay, this is another thing to do, or whatever. A parent comes in and it can get so much, can't it? So when you are feeling fatigued, low on energy, that makes the day a struggle. The workload as well.
It's crazy, isn't it? Like,
the workload is crazy. Like yesterday, I was in school from 7:30. I had to force myself to leave at 6:00, and I've still got work to do at home. And it's like, how is this possible to be able to do it all?
It's not.
It's not. It's not. And there's got to be points where, like I did last night, it's like, I've got to go now. I can't do anymore. I'm going to go. So it's not finding the time, but having the time to do things that you want to do outside of school. Because I don't know if you were the same, but when I first became a teacher, it almost became my identity, and teacher Jess was just everything. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I was Miss Walker and that was it.
Yeah. And it just kind of took over my life as such. So finding the time to do the things that make you happy, that's a big struggle because of the workload, because of the demands, because of everything else that comes with the job, you know, doing the observations, you know, and marking, photos, assessment, reading.
Yeah. It just gets on top of you, doesn't it? And
it does. And it's a shame because I know for myself, and probably for yourself, you go into the job because you want to make a difference and you enjoy working with children and you love the excitement of teaching as well, like seeing them get really excited about their new topics and learning new things. Like my nephew this morning, he was like, oh, I'm learning about space. I'm like, amazing. What can you tell me about space? He's just so excited about it. And that's what lights you up. That's what gets you through the day sometimes, isn't it?
100%.
It's a shame that fun and that enjoyment and that passion can be sucked out from the job because of the paperwork and the policies and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and I think you're right that it's never the kids. Never is. It doesn't matter, you know, if some have got, you know, difficult or challenging behaviour or whatever. It's the kids are what we're there for. And that's probably why I stayed in for so long, I'll be honest, because it was 10 years. I think if it wasn't for kids... ironically, as being teachers, I wouldn't be in the job as long because I love it. I mean, even now I still do private tutoring because I love helping. And I think you touched on something really important earlier about, you were talking about yourself, but I actually think it's true for all teachers. We're people pleasers. We are perfectionists. And we're passionate about our jobs and about our children. Let's be honest, we would not be in this job if we were not passionate about our children.
Absolutely not.
Although they are amazing traits as people, of course, that is going to affect our well-being, isn't it? Because we're giving so much away, but then forgetting to sort of fill our own cup, so to speak. So how would you advise someone in early years being able to look after ourselves within that sort of demanding workload that we seem to have?
I think focusing on what you need to be able to be healthy, to be able to be happy as much as you can do, you know, because you can't always be happy. That would just be a bit weird, wouldn't it? You know, if someone was always happy, I'd be like, you know.
Something's wrong.
So to be happy and healthy as much as you can. So it's things like drinking enough water, getting enough sleep.
I find that so hard.
I do find that really difficult in early years and Key Stage 1 because you are so on the go. Up on your feet, here, there and everywhere. It gets to lunchtime, you're like, oh my goodness, I haven't even had a drink.
Right, you forget to pee.
Yeah, absolutely.
My tea's gone cold from this morning's early morning staff meeting. I haven't even touched my water bottle and I haven't gone for a wee either. And I'm like, oh.
Yeah, so something I did, which I found really useful, I've got a smartwatch, so it depends, but on my smartwatch, I would set like a little reminder. So each hour it would give me a little buzz to be like, take a sip of water. So it'd just be that little gentle reminder to be like, okay, just go and have a sip of water. It doesn't have to be a big gulp, just a little something to keep my cells hydrated, keep me going. Because I know if I don't drink enough, I'm useless. I get such bad headaches. I get cranky. And so it's just those little basic things. Water, eating as well, having that lack of time sometimes when you're a teacher, because you work late and you've still got more work to do, you just want to eat something quick, or you eat something quick during your lunch break because you're on the go doing this, that and the other. You know, having a bit of time to be like, okay, I'm going to give myself half an hour just to sit down and eat something will make such a world of difference. And I know it's like, oh, half an hour, that's so much time.
Right?
But
I'm like, oh my God.
yeah, making that time can make such a difference, just to let your food go down. Because when you're eating and you're in the middle of, I don't know, marking your books or on your computer, doing something else, your brain's not focused on that digestive process.
Right.
So you need to focus, you need to look at what you're eating and take that in, because your brain doesn't know what's going on. Does that make sense? Like it's not aware of the digestive process going on because you are focusing on something else.
I didn't know that. That's interesting. I thought it was just an automated system. Like, you know, you eat, it does its thing, it comes back out at the end. Ah.
And also, when you are in that stress response, your digestive system shuts down. So if you are working during your lunch break and you're all het up after the morning and being like, right, I've got to get this ready, this ready, this ready. If you're in that stress response, you are not digesting your food properly at all. So you can have the healthiest salad that you could ever make. That ain't healthy, hun, if you're in stress.
Do you know, I'm thinking back to all those times when I was in a teacher, like, oh, I'll just have a smoothie for lunch because I'm stressed and I literally have 10 minutes because so-and-so's kicked off on the playground and they're asking me to come off of my lunch to go onto the playground to go sort it out.
Yeah.
And the smoothie's just the easiest thing to do because I can just drink it on the go. And actually thinking, well, actually, why am I not feeling better? Why am I not feeling energized? This is supposed to be healthy food. That's why. Yeah. That's not what actually I needed, because I wasn't recognizing the stress that my body was in. I'm learning so much already, Jen. I love it. I love it. So in terms of like, obviously we all know well-being is like mega important, but are there different types of well-being that we can do? Like, does some types of well-being work for some people but not for others?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're all different. We all like different things. So with my clients, I teach about well-being. I teach different self-care routines and practices. I offer this variety of things that they can do to support themselves, because what I do, they might not like that, and vice versa. So if I offer a variety, they can pick and choose what works best for them. Under kind of the umbrella of well-being, there are different pillars as such. You know, you've got your mental well-being, your emotional well-being, physical, but then you've also got spiritual, psychological. I'm thinking of the one for your job, occupational. There we go.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah. So things like your job, your financial well-being, there's so many different types. I think with our job though, a lot of it does come under like physical, mental, emotional and occupational well-being, and potentially financial as well, because I know when I was in a lot of stress, your body automatically looks for something that is pleasurable and can take pain away. So for me, that was shopping and food.
Food. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Binge.
Yeah, binge, alcohol,
yeah,
smoking.
Yeah, caffeine,
oh my goodness, yeah. Shopping was a big one for me, and I got into a lot of debt because I'd buy things, it felt good in the moment, but then I'd go back to feeling absolutely rubbish. I was going to use a swear word then, but
we know which one. Insert your own, listeners. Insert your own.
Yeah. And I'd go back to feeling that way, but I'm making myself worse because I'm getting myself into debt, which is then heightening that stress response. So there are different pillars of well-being, and it's kind of looking at each one individually and thinking, okay, well, what do I need in this area to feel better, you know?
No, that's great. Actually, that's kind of sparked something in me. So can you give maybe an example of what each well-being pillar looks like?
Yeah, so for example, you might have your physical well-being pillar. So for me, my sleep is so important. I know I need to have my 8 hours sleep because otherwise I am so grouchy.
Me too.
So it's making sure I meet that need of 8 hours sleep. So it might be, okay, my bedtime, I start getting ready for bed at 9 o'clock, and let's say I want to be in bed for 9:30, read a little bit of my book, and then lights out at 10, like as an example. So making sure I'm meeting that need in my physical. For your mental one, it could be taking some time to journal or meditate. Meditating for me is a need. I like to meditate each day because it helps me to keep grounded and stay calm. And when I know I've got a busy day ahead, I can envision myself being calm throughout the rest of the day,
Yeah.
Financial, setting yourself a target as such, maybe to save, I don't know, £50 this month, or I'm going to stop buying coffees at Starbucks and save that little bit of money. Just little things like that can gradually support your well-being on the whole,
I think that's really interesting, actually, because a lot of us, me included, this is why I'm asking you these questions. You group well-being as into just like one thing, but actually it's so much more than that. And
Yeah.
I think it's important to break it down and actually think, well, hang on a minute, where in my well-being do I need to work on? What do I need to focus on? Because I think a lot of us, especially because, especially at the beginning of the year, isn't it? You all make these New Year's resolutions, you all try and do all this for your well-being. But the reason perhaps why we don't reach those goals is because we're not breaking it down into actually what that is.
Yeah.
And also, when you were talking about your needs for your pillars, mine, as I was going through it in my head while you were talking, are different. So when you were saying physical well-being, well, to be fair, physical well-being, sleep, yeah, me too. Yeah. But also, I would say maybe mental well-being. For me, I go on a walk every morning before I start work. And people might say, oh, but hang on, walking, that's physical. It is, but for me, it's not. Like, my goal out of that is not to walk an X amount of miles or burn an X amount of calories, or it's not the physical for me. It's literally giving myself headspace on that walk, mental space to just awake, get ready for the day. Like, for me, that's a need, but it's a mental need kind of thing. So I think that's really good. And I think that'd be quite fun as a team, perhaps, maybe, to explore that. Like, if you're in an early years classroom or you're doing a staff meeting, I think that would be quite nice to do.
Yeah, I really like that because you'll become more aware of other people's needs.
Yeah.
And, we're all doing our best with what we can. But if we're more understanding of other people and their needs and what's going on in their lives, we've got that awareness of it, and you can work together to support each other. So I think that's really powerful.
Right. And isn't that what we do for our kids? Like,
yeah, absolutely.
And I think, you know what, we should do it for each other too.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, we are their role models. So if they can see us looking after each other and supporting our own selves and looking after ourselves, they're going to take that on board. We've got something called mirror neurons in our brain. So when you are experiencing an emotion or feeling a certain way, people can mirror that from you.
Oh,
I can't remember the exact percentages, but it's really, really interesting. So your happiness can have an impact on 3 people away. Does that make sense?
Yes. Oh my gosh, someone's told me about this.
Yeah, it's really interesting. So your happiness, your mood can affect people like 3 different people away. So, you as a teacher will have an impact on the children, and then they will go to their parents, and then the parents will go to work. Do you know what I mean? And that's that impact, which I find fascinating.
It is, isn't it? It's also a little bit overwhelming, like pressure. You're like,
Yeah.
oh no, but if I have a bad day, I've ruined 3 lots of people's lives today. You're like, oh no.
No, don't want to. You don't want to pressure yourself thinking, oh no, we're going to ruin everyone's days. Do you know what? Everyone has a bad day every now and then. But being aware of it and why you are feeling like you're having a bad day, that self-awareness is the key to well-being, really. When we were talking about different types of well-being, it's all about having an awareness of it. So being aware of what's making you have a bad day or what you need, that's going to spark your wellbeing journey, and you're going to be looking for ways to further improve it and make yourself feel better and develop it even more. Because I've been doing this, oh my goodness, 3 years now I've been coaching, which is amazing.
Yay.
And my wellbeing journey has developed over time, because each week or each month, each year, things change, and that's okay. You can change it. It doesn't have to be strict or rigid. You just go with the flow.
I like
Enjoy
it. Yeah,
Yeah,
go with the
enjoy
wellbeing
it.
flow, listeners.
Yes.
Yes. Now, while we're on that, would you mind, for any of us perhaps who don't actually know where to start,
Yeah.
have you got a couple of maybe ideas of exercises or things that our listeners could do to support those different areas in wellbeing?
I think the big thing would be to be aware of your stress levels and your emotions. So maybe keeping like a little journal, or you can get lots of different apps with like how you're feeling, and you can just do like a slider on a happy face and a sad face and kind of have that. But once you're aware of what it is that makes you feel stressed or feel overwhelmed or anxious, having that awareness means you can do something about it. So if it is things like feeling anxious on the way to work and you're rushing, okay, well, what could we do to lessen those feelings of anxiety while you're in the car or walking to work or whatever? So I think it's all about being aware of your inner feelings, your inner thoughts, and go from there. If you know what your triggers are, then we can do something about it. So a little journal maybe would be really helpful. And then you can develop further to, like you said, you like your walks. Those help you to kind of have some space. Our jobs are so full on and we make so many decisions in a day. We need that bit of space to go, oh, okay, I just need some peace. I need some quiet. And that's where my meditation time comes in for me. And sometimes it is going for a walk, but having that peace, having that quiet makes such a difference to your day as well.
It really does. And like you say, like there's no right way to look after your
No,
well-being.
everyone's different. It depends on what you enjoy and what you like doing, and again, what those things are that do make you feel a certain way. You know, it could be people. I've noticed since being aware of my moods that there are people out there who I call like energy vampires. Like they suck the
Yes.
life out of you. Like, ugh,
Yep.
I don't want that person in my life anymore. But it came because I was aware of how I was feeling, and then you kind of go back to being like, okay, well, why was that? Oh, we did this, or I saw that person and this happened. It's kind of, it's a lot of, I don't want to say self-analysis, but it is kind of looking inside and being curious, I'd say, being curious about yourself and your thoughts and your feelings, because at the end of the day, you're the most important person in your life. And I know what we do is amazing, and the children that we teach are also very important, but you're the most important thing. School will carry on if you're there or not.
Yeah, I think you've actually picked up on a lot of interesting points there. So I wanted to ask, energy vampires. As soon as we say that, we all got someone in our head. We all
Yes.
know, okay?
Yes.
And I think especially in schools, because it is such a stressful environment, people can feel that way about their own colleagues even. So I want to ask, what would you advise to us if you feel like you are working with an energy vampire? How can we protect our well-being from that kind of energy space? Because like you say, if we're working with them, we can't really get rid of them as much as we want to.
As much as we...
in the nicest way possible. In the nicest way possible. But how do we protect ourselves from that kind of energy?
Protecting yourself would be... So when we were talking earlier about defining what your needs are, because if you are in a space where you've had enough sleep, you're feeling good, you've had a good breakfast, you're ready for the day, when you're feeling good, you are less likely to be zapped as such, because we talk about, having a full cup so that we can give to others. But actually, you want your cup to be overflowing so that when there are people that do come into your life, who do kind of zap you a bit or need a bit from you, you've got enough in you to give it, if that makes sense. But then once that interaction or whatever it is has happened, giving yourself some space and time to be like, okay, I need to go and take some time out, or I need to go and make myself a cup of tea, or whatever it is that you feel you need to do to fill yourself back up again. So it's identifying those needs to make you feel good and keep doing it. so that you're not going to get sucked into something that makes you feel like you're going to be a bit of a, you
try so hard not to swear. We can do cow. That's good. I understand completely. And one final question. We've talked about how we can help ourselves and our colleagues and things like that. And that's, of course, really helpful. I'm wondering from like a leadership aspect, perhaps we've got SLT, it's a lot of pressure from up above. And I don't mean just SLT. I mean like from the government, like you say, workload. So what can we do as leaders? What can we do for our team to support our staff and make sure that they're okay?
That's such a good question. And I'm not in a leadership role, but as a member of staff, feeling like you are cared about makes such a difference. So when my head teacher comes and sees me and asks me about how I'm doing and just takes an interest in me, that makes such a difference, because I feel like I'm cared for. I feel like she notices me, and I feel like she is going to be there for me if anything were to happen. And it could be that there are days where you need a day off to go and see your child's nativity play, or you need to go and do this. One of my old head teachers would let you have a day for you. So one of my friends would go and watch Wimbledon and little things like that. It really meant a lot. So getting to know your staff on a personal level, I know that can be really difficult in big schools, but making your staff aware that you are there for them, you care for them, and you will always be there for them no matter what, that makes a real big difference. Because I've been in a position where I haven't felt like I can approach my SLT or approach the head teacher because of one thing or another. And it's really difficult because, like you said, you've got all these high expectations, and it goes from the top and it works its way down, doesn't it?
Oh, it gets heavier the lower it gets.
Yeah, absolutely. So I know it's difficult as a teacher, but then I also know as a head teacher or a member of SLT, there are also going to be difficulties in their job because they're being given these messages to do this, do that, and they're like,
it's not an easy job. Been there, done that.
I can't even imagine it, and I wouldn't want it for myself. No. To be completely honest, anyone who does it, honestly, hats off to you, because I know I would not be able to do that. But I think you being a good role model and looking after your well-being and taking care of yourself, showing how important your life is, will have an impact on those around you as well,
Totally. I love it. So to finish, I want to ask you about you specifically, in terms of your wellbeing journey and your business, what kind of things do you offer? Because I really want people to know about this. They want to carry on, or they even want to start their wellbeing journey. What kind of things do you support your clients with?
Wow, I mean, there's so many things I could be like, right, this is what you can do. You can do this. But then I'm also really conscious. I don't want to overwhelm people because you're already in a tough job, a stressful job. If I were to reel off, do this, it would be like, too overwhelming. I'm not going to do it. So with what I offer, we go deep into the person. Because you're not just a teacher, are you? You're a person, and we want to make you, the person, happy so that you are enjoying your work life, but you're also enjoying your personal life, because it's a nice balance. When you've got that, that's your happiness. So I do offer, I've got a lovely Facebook group.
You do. It's nice because we get to share stories like, is anyone having a problem with it? Yes, we are.
And I've also started doing something called a daily wellbeing reminder on WhatsApp.
Oh.
So each day I just send like a little message of something that you can do or something for you to think about, which can support you in your well-being. So that's something new that I've started. And I also offer a one-to-one coaching and mentoring happy teacher course as well, which has been fabulous. And some of those clients then have gone on to work with me for 12 months and still reaping the rewards of being a happy teacher, which is wonderful. And then there's other people who have done the happy teacher course and they're like, Jess, I feel amazing. I'm ready to go and fly now into the world and into my school and share all my well-being knowledge, So it is amazing with the people I've worked with and what's been going on the last 3 years. And my mission really is to get up into government and make some changes in education there. We actually need some teachers in there,
Yeah, I'm going to get a picket and be like, campaign for Jess into the government, please. The happy teacher party. Oh my God, the happy teacher party.
Oh, wow. I love that. The happy teacher party.
Mate, okay. I feel like
we've started something.
Yeah, I feel like we're going to get a lot of votes. All right. The happy teacher party, yes. Vote Jess.
I love that.
Done.
I might even change my Facebook group name to that now.
Do it. Oh my gosh, when you become Prime Minister, just say, your girl Shána helped you out with the name. That's all I need.
Babes. Your babes. You'll be my deputy.
Oh my God, stress pressure. I'll try my best, babe. But this is it. This is fun. This is what it's about. It's about supporting each other. And I think, Jess, as well, what's really lovely about you is, obviously you're just lovely and I love your energy, but you get it. You've been there and also you're still doing it. And there's nothing worse than someone telling you how to do something when you have no idea. They have no idea what they're talking about.
I know.
Government. So to have someone who really understands, it just means something. It just hits on a different level, doesn't it? And you totally get it. And you're down to earth. You're lovely. You've got some really good ideas. And just thank you for coming. It's been really lovely.
Thank you for having me. I've loved it.
Are you all right to play a quick game before we go?
Oh, of course.
Yes!
Of course.
It's the happy teacher. You know, we must end on happy notes. Okay. So we always do a Would You Rather Teacher edition, okay? And we want to test and see what you want to choose between. So number one's always the same. Would you rather tea or coffee?
Coffee.
Oh, why?
I don't know. It just hits something in my soul. I'm like, oh yes. But
that first sip, you're like, boom.
Yeah. But then there are times where I'm like, it's got to be a cup of tea. You know, there are certain times or occasions something's happened and it's like, and it's got to be a Yorkshire tea. It's got to be a proper brew.
Oh, here we go, we're starting a debate.
That's what we should have done. Which tea? This or that.
This is it. I can't even think of any. I'm just a great tea person. I love tea. We'll do that for the next time, all right?
There we go.
Okay, number two. Would you rather... This is a well-being one. I like this one.
Like it.
Would you rather dance for your well-being or journal?
Oh,
right?
That's a tough one.
I mean, they're not meant to be easy.
Oh, that's really got me.
Isn't it?
I really love both of them.
Dancing is the
I'm
best.
going to go with dancing because there's nothing better than dancing to Beyonce.
Oh, stop, Queen Bee.
Yes.
She can turn your mood around.
Even when I'm in the car and she comes on, I'm like, pow.
Yeah.
In the car.
Yes. Do you know, it's nothing, isn't it? It's like, you know, when you do your cleaning, you put music on to help you clean because it gives you your mood. So like, dance the feels out.
That's another good one. So making a playlist of all your favourite songs, like when you're having a rubbish day, like, you know, sometimes you just wake up in the morning, you're like evil.
Oh, yeah.
Stick that playlist on your way to work. You'll be buzzing when you get there.
I love that idea. Do you know what? I feel like we should make like a Twinkl early years happy playlist.
Like it.
So many ideas, Jess. I'm loving this. I'm loving this. Okay. I like that idea. Last but certainly not least.
Yes.
Okay. Would you rather a staycation or a cruise?
Ooh.
I've never been on a cruise, have you?
Nor me, but I really love the idea of it. Like going to sleep and then waking up somewhere different. Ooh, I love that idea. And they look amazing, don't they?
They do, but I might get a bit seasick. I'm worried about my sea legs.
Yeah. But then there's the other side of me who is maybe a little bit hippified, loves camping, being outdoors.
Oh, yeah.
Out in the forest and stuff. Oh. I think I'm going to go with staycation, you know.
I'm with you. Have you tried forest bathing?
I love forest bathing.
It is my favourite thing.
I love it.
Isn't it just so, like, guys, well-being, try some forest bathing.
Yes. Yeah.
Divine.
Apparently, in Japan, they prescribe forest bathing for people
Shut the front door.
Yeah, for people who are feeling low.
Okay, let's all move to Japan. That is I love that. I think I need a prescription. Yeah. Like, twice a week. Okay, great. Yeah.
And do you know what? Before I even knew about forest bathing, instinctively, when I was going through that bad time, I instinctively would go to the forest and walk. And then it was like, you know, later on I discovered about forest bathing and the benefits of it. But my body instinctively was like, let's go to the forest. And
it's just something about nature, isn't it? Literally getting back to your roots is 100%. Just grounding.
Yeah.
All the puns.
Love it.
Oh, Jess, it's been so lovely to have you. Thank you so much for spending time with me. I hope it won't be the last time.
Hopefully not.
But if our listeners want to find more about what you do, they want to have a chat with you, where can we find you on social media?
You can find me on Facebook and Instagram. I'm Jessica Joan Coach. And then my Facebook group, if you click on my profile, you can link that then and go to my Facebook group, which is called the Happy Teachers Club, but potentially will now be called the Happy Teacher Party.
I mean, we'll see what happens. Things might be growing. I love it. And I'll put all of your links in our episode description as well. So you're just a click away.
Yes.
I love it. Well, I'll let you go. You are amazing.
Thanks, Beaut.
Just keep doing you.
You do
seriously.
it.
Like
You do. You're doing amazing.
You do you, babes. You do you. Look at all this love. I'm loving this love. Have a lovely day, my dear, and I hope to see you soon.
Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Jess. I hope you really enjoyed listening to Jess. She's got that really happy energy, hasn't she? No wonder she's the happy teacher coach. And I really do think we should get a Twinkl Talks EYFS happy playlist. That would be really cool, right? If you've got a song that really just gets you in the mood and makes you feel upbeat and happy and ready for the day, send me a message and let me know, and I'll make a playlist and we'll help each other be happy together. So that's the end of today's episode, but before we go, I really want to tell you about something exciting that is coming up. I've been working on this for a while, and I'm proud to announce that we're going to be doing a mini-series for the next couple of episodes. And the mini-series will be called Early Years Around the World. So every episode, I'm going to be talking to someone who has or is teaching early years in a different country. I've always been really fascinated with how other countries do early years and what it looks like for different settings and for different parts of the world. And I'm so lucky to have an amazing lineup of practitioners who have taught around the world. We're going to be talking to people from countries such as Australia, Romania, Mexico, South Africa. Honestly, I feel like I've got at least someone from every continent. Well, maybe not Antarctica, but you get me. So I'm really excited to kick things off next episode with Stacey from Twinkl, Australia. She's going to tell us all about how early years works in Australia. And what's really exciting as well is some of these episodes in the mini-series will be on TikTok Live. So if you are not following us on TikTok already, go into TikTok, hit that follow button, sign up to the events of our lives. If you don't know where to find us on TikTok, there is also a link to our TikTok in the episode description. But honestly, I'm so excited to talk to these people and just learn what other people do in different countries when it comes to early years. How cool is that? But that's it for today. Thank you so much for listening, and I can't wait to see you next time to start our mini-series of early years around the world. Have a great day. So that's it from today's episode. Thanks so much for listening, and I hope you really enjoyed it. If you would like to get involved or would like to know more, come and find us on our social media sites. We have a Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest, and TikTok account. All of the details will be in the description. And whatever you're doing, I hope you have a great day today.